Does this outfit say Old Hollywood? I tried.
I have a great passion for life. I have a passion for people. I have a passion for eating. I can't do anything sort of halfway.
Welcome, ghoul friends, to our first episode of Mortem Kitchen, a series where I explore the signature dishes of dead celebrities. Now, this isn't a new trend. Right now, graveyard recipes are really big on TikTok. The Try Guys even did one recently. BuzzFeed years ago explored some of the signature weird dishes of celebrities. And even Silver Screen Suppers, who I found when doing research for this series, does a bunch of really great recipes. So this isn't new. I'm not claiming to invent it. But as someone who really loves honoring the dead and who also has quite an affinity for the kitchen, I thought this was the most perfect series for me to explore. My own spirituality, which I don't talk about very often, really centers around honoring those who came before us. For example, my great grandfather spoke French, and right now I am just mustering through French lessons as a way to honor him and the lost language of our family. I invite many spirits into my life one way or another. And I think the movie Coco explains it in the best way I've ever seen explained through the culture of uh, Day of the Dead. And it's the idea of if we continue to honor the dead, maybe part of them will forever stay alive. And I know it's easier with celebrities, right? They're permanently beautifully captured in their youth on screen and in television or in museums. And we really glorify this idea of old Hollywood. So it's not that I'm worried their memory will fade. But as someone who loves food and is a kitchen witch, and I've been a hobby cook for well over a decade, I have found there's no way to better connect to someone than through food. And for famous Hollywood and celebrities, sometimes the version we know of them that made it through onto our screen may not be the truest version of themselves. So for me, doing this series is a way to rediscover them through food. So when I found this book, The Dead Celebrity Cookbook, a resurrection of recipes from more than 145 stars of stage and screen by Frank DeCaro, I knew I had to embark on this adventure. And the first one I landed on was Elizabeth Taylor's mushroom and avocado chicken. So I chose this one because it seemed the most realistic as a dish I may actually want to consume. I mean, there's casseroles in here that's made of nothing but cheese, you know? And I was like, I would like to eat this and feed other people with it. So let me go for something a little bit realistic, and I came across this. Now, my expectations. Now, when I think of celebrity recipes, I don't think, oh, this must be the height of culinary delight. I think, oh, this might be a little strange and odd because I'm just imagining clips of celebrities where they say the most ridiculous thing about something they make.
For your eyes only. Brownies and ranch.
So I'm just really hoping for something edible. All right, let's go shopping. First, we need 1 avocado, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 2.5 pound chickens cut up into serving pieces. Now, listen to me. You, me, listen. I am a pro at French chicken dishes, and I'm going to tell you a little secrets. They always say buy a whole chicken and you're going to cut it up and fry it up into pieces. You don't have to do that. Okay? I'm telling you, listen. You don't have to do that. Just get chicken thighs. Just get boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm telling you, it accounts for the stewing. I have a feeling there's wine in here. There's wine and cream in here, which is telling us this could be a French adjacent dish. I'm telling you, the chicken thighs won't dry out during the stewing, which is a very common part of French chicken wine recipes. Any recipe that you think there might be chicken stewing in wine, just get chicken thighs. You do not need to go through the whole thing of deboning a chicken and then worrying about the different pieces cooking at different rates and then worrying, is this cooked, but is this not cooked? Is this going to dry out? Don't worry about it. Just get chicken thighs. That is the only way I will deviate from this recipe because I believe in it so fiercely. Okay. So salt and pepper, we need butter. Then we need 1/4 cup of butter, 3 finely chopped shallots, 3 tablespoons of cognac, which I didn't buy because I already had it, 1/3 cup of dry white wine, 1 cup of heavy cream, 1 cup of chicken stock, 2 cups of sliced fresh mushrooms, and then parsley for garnish. In total, this dish cost me $42.63. Now, keep in mind, I bought a full bottle of wine when I only needed a cup. I bought a whole thing of Better Than Bouillon when I could have used a cheaper alternative. So, of course, keep in mind that when you're buying ingredients, not all of it's going into the dish. All right, so let's go. So first, after chopping up the avocado, you want to go ahead and let it soak in the lemon juice, cover it, and then refrigerate it. As that chills, we are going to season our chicken, and then in a large heavy skillet over low heat with 3 to 4 tablespoons of butter, we are going to brown our chicken on both sides. Now, in the recipe, they called for 35 to 40 minutes, but again, I got chicken thighs, so chicken thighs are going to cook a little quicker. So what I ended up doing was I did about 10 minutes on each side. However, if you look, one of the burners is hotter than the other one. So what I did was I switched the burners. I switched the pans on the burners after I did the first flip, and I had to give the second pan, which was not cooking as fast, about 10 extra minutes than the pan that cooked much quicker. So again, it's all about adapting, right? The more you cook, the more you'll learn to adapt. You'll be able to see, oh, that one's much hotter than this one. Let's either lower it or switch them or give this one more time. Those things are hard to explain in cookbooks, but you just have to do your best to eye it. Transfer the cooked chicken to a serving dish and cover loosely with aluminum foil and keep warm in a 300-degree oven while preparing the sauce. Now, to make the sauce, you add shallots to the skillet, cook over medium heat until starting to get translucent. I highly recommend cooking it in the pan you use to cook the chicken so you can get all that great frond off the bottom and those really great chicken bits. Once you're satisfied with how well cooked the shallots are, you're going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of your cognac along with your wine, and you're going to bring that up to a boil. Go ahead and boil until the mixture has almost evaporated. Now, at this point, the cookbook says to add cream, cook, and then add your stock. However, even though my cream was at room temperature, which is the best way to prevent curdling or breaking, I knew for a fact if I added cream to that mixture, it was going to break. So I broke the rules a little bit and instead I added the stock first to bring the temperature of the mixture down so that I could add the cream without the cream scalding and splitting. Again, these are little things you just learn as you get more experienced in the kitchen. And yes, cream, if you let it come to room temperature, it's less likely to break. But if there's a high deviation in the temperature between the cream and what it's being poured into, it might break. And while that isn't necessarily bad, it can look very unappetizing and not look like something you might want to serve to people. Now, go ahead and cook this until it is nice and thick. Remember, the thickness of this sauce is going to remain as it is served. So, whatever the thickness you prefer is the thickness you want to let this sauce get to before you take it off the heat. As your sauce cooks, go ahead and saute your mushrooms. I just did a little butter, salt, and pepper, and I sauteed them until they were golden brown. Once you're happy, go ahead and add your mushrooms, your chicken, and avocado into the sauce mixture. And at this point, you can go ahead and serve your dish. And don't forget the parsley. So, my thoughts on the dish. This was absolutely incredible. It was so much better than I expected. It was absolutely delicious. I was staying with my mom when I made it, and I gave her some, and she talked about it for days. She told multiple people who we met that she ate Elizabeth Taylor's chicken, and it was absolutely delightful. It's very delicious. If you like wine-based chicken dishes, if you like saucy chicken dishes, you are going to love this. Now, the only thing is the avocado doesn't quite hold up to leftover status. And this makes a lot of food. For about $50, this made, I want to say, 8 to 10 portions of chicken. It was a lot. Okay. So we had leftovers for days. And the avocado, fresh avocado, just doesn't hold up to the fridge like that. So I would recommend if you do make this and you know you're going to be eating on it for quite a few days, maybe leave the avocado out. Or try to serve the avocado pieces when it's fresh and then leave it out for the leftovers. Or if you really want the avocado, you can maybe, I don't really know. I don't know. I'm really trying to help you think of ways to keep the to keep the avocado from getting weird because it was starting to get a little weird. Okay. But other than that, I absolutely loved it. It was an amazing recipe and I will 100% make it again. I think it is rustic enough that it is great for just a regular meal for like the family. It makes a lot of food. But I also think it is elevated enough that you could serve it for a dinner party or to impress people, and it certainly will. So, what did I learn? One, I didn't know a lot about Elizabeth Taylor before this. The most I knew is that she stole Eddie Fisher from Debbie Fisher, and she was in the Flintstones movie that I really liked as a kid. And that was all I knew about Elizabeth Taylor. So after this experience, I weirdly feel closer to her now. I feel like I know the foods she liked to eat and the things she enjoyed. And yeah, I really feel a lot closer to her after this experience, which I think is strange, right? Because obviously I don't know Elizabeth Taylor, and chicken's not going to change that. But I do feel like I know a different side of her now. And has my initial opinion changed? Yes. Like I said before, when I think celebrity dishes, I typically think of weird concoctions, but this really changed my mind. This and definitely the stereotype I had before that celebrities can't cook, which again, I think it's just because we see celebrities go like, yeah, I like spaghetti and peas. I don't know. It's just, and would I do this again? Yes. It was an absolutely wonderful dish. Like I said before, the avocado doesn't hold up well to leftovers, so I would adjust there. I might leave the avocado out. Ultimately, I really enjoyed it, and it was a very delightful meal. Until next time, ghoul friends, keep your candles lit and your planchette at the ready, and pull up a chair for Elizabeth Taylor.